The government of the United States was uh, the really the Second Continental Congress. The Congress stayed in power through the Revolution, and then after the Revolution, or actually toward the end of the Revolution, they adopted a organizing document called the Articles of Confederation. And the Articles of Confederation created a very loose alliance of individual states. The central government, which was essentially the Congress, had very little power, as you guys noticed in the video. And the result of that was that it really didn't work very well. There were a lot of problems with it, as was noted in the video. With they didn't have the power to tax. They were broke. They states were they didn't have the power to print money, and the states were squabbling over property and trade and things like that. So the Continental Congress was called to um, to correct the Articles of Confederation. But right after right after the convention began in Philadelphia, they James Madison actually introduced his Virginia plan, which was essentially to scrap the Articles of Confederation and start over. So that was something that wasn't what was intended for the convention, but that was what happened. And that was one of the reasons why so many people were against the Constitution, because the convention didn't do what it said it was going to do. At any rate, what happens is that they, as you guys noticed, they work out all these compromises, and they finally come up. It's a document that Benjamin Franklin says he says that it ought to be ratified, not because it's the best document ever, but because it's the best they can do right now. And so the Constitution was ratified by the convention, and then eventually ratified by the states. But now, the one thing that we want to understand is that when the convention was, excuse me, when the Constitution was ratified by the convention, uh, there were differences in what the delegates thought they had agreed upon. So two of the big areas of of that were left unanswered in the Constitution were: number one, what government is supreme? Is it the national government, or is it the state government? And we'll talk about that in here in a second. And the other one was: is this union a permanent union? Once you're in, is there any way to get out? And so many people believed that the state government should be supreme, and that the national government was subject to the will of the states. But a number of other people believe the opposite way around. Okay, and then in terms of joining the union, many of the states, particularly the southern states, would not have joined the union if they thought that they could not leave if it wasn't in their interest to be part of it. And so these two questions are left unanswered. And we could say, well, that was kind of a crazy oversight on the part of the delegates, but it really wasn't. What it really was they left those questions unanswered because if they had tried to specify the answers, they would not have been able to make an agreement. They would not have been able to ratify a constitution. So what that really did then was it left those questions open, and we will be talking about those questions really for the rest of the course, because these are the questions that eventually will lead to the Civil War.